Oh, I should get a book, shouldn't I? Oh,
Yeah, grab one.
grab one.
Cool.
Sorted.
Okay, we're live. I've just got the message that we're live. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for an evening with one of my favourite authors, Millie Johnson. Thank you so much for joining us, Millie.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you. So yeah, I've had the pleasure of interviewing Millie twice before, and I know that we're definitely in for a very entertaining and fun evening. Millie's definitely the tonic that we all need right now, and so are her books. So Millie joins us from all the other side at Pennines in Barnsley, where she was born and raised. She's one of the top 10 female fiction authors in the UK, with millions of copies sold across the world. And if you've read any of Millie's books, you'll know she writes from the heart about what and where she knows, and she also highlights the importance of community spirit, and I think that's especially important at the moment, obviously. And am I right, Millie, we're celebrating the launch of your 18th novel?
Yes, I know. How the hell did that happen?
18th novel, and I've read them all. I wish it could be Christmas every day. So I hope you're all taking advantage of the book launch being from home. I hope you've got your Christmas PJs on, you've got a Christmas tipple or maybe a mocktail. I know it definitely won't be long before I am mulling some wine. And if you've joined us for our Facebook events before, you'll know that I ask the author some questions, and then we ask you at home to get involved and ask a question in the Facebook comments. And then, as always, you'll be in with a chance of winning a signed copy of the book. But tonight, it isn't just the book. Millie,
no,
what you can win.
Hamper together. Can you see? Wait a minute. Hang on.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
We've got a book. There's a notepad. There's some marshmallow, some snowman poo. There's some chocolates that feature in the book. There's a diary. There's even a sprout whoopee cushion.
Amazing.
So it's it's a bit of a Christmas hamper for you. Make it special.
Oh, fantastic!
And stuff, pens, all that sort of Christmas gubbins.
Yeah,
Here's
fantastic. So yeah, I'm very jealous that I can't to win, but never mind. And yeah, bear with us as always if there's any technical difficulties. Sam's in the background sorting everything out. I can confirm he's also wearing a Christmas jumper, and he'll be selecting a winner this evening. So, Millie, are you ready for your questions?
I am ready. Okay. I feel like a time chair.
No, right. You're ready.
Specialized subject. Me. Right.
So, first of all, Millie, show them what you're drinking out of, please.
Oh, it's a bauble. It's a Christmas bauble full of gin and tonic. Not alcoholic, obviously.
That is very nice. Okay, so it's a bit of a long-winded question, the first one. So, earlier on this year, I watched an interview with yourself and Catherine Isaac, and you mentioned that in the first lockdown, what even lockdown are we on now? You'd done a straw poll to ask people if they wanted to read about our current situation and things like that, or if they wanted pure escapism. And you said that pure escapism won by a mile. And obviously that is what you're going to get with I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, and indeed all of your books. So I just wondered, how do you do it? You know, how do you get that escapism element, and why is it so important to you?
Well, I know that people who read my books want to escape for whatever reason. And I know this because of all the letters that I've received over the years. And we don't set out to be therapists. We just set out to write story. But for some reason, there's some magic that happens and our words are internalized and become different, become more important and bigger than we ever imagined. we have had letters, and not just me, I say we as in all the novelists in my genre. I've had letters that say, well, thank you so much. You know, I was hooked up to a chemotherapy drip. I didn't want to be in that room, and you took me away somewhere else.
Yeah.
And you get so many of those letters that you realise just how important escapism is. And I found that it was happening to me. I was getting these letters. I think because my work is very much grounded in the world around us. So if you just take the story a little bit further into a little bit of fantasy, into a little bit of fiction, it's not that much of a leap for people's brains to make. That these lovely things that happen to characters in my books can happen to them as well, and do happen to them. So there's a sort of comfort in the realism. But I always say that my books are the extraordinary things that happen in ordinary life. And I like to leave people with hope. I do get fed up of this. Oh, I knew what were going to happen in the end. Yes, of course you did. It's going to be a happy ending. I can't take my characters all the way through all the tripe that I do, not give them the happy ending.
I'd be really annoyed. I'd be like, what's she done?
Probably be lynched by now because people have bought into that. That's what they expect from me. And I am delighted to supply this happy ending where I can leave readers with some hope and a smile on their face. If they want a book where they have to make their own endings up, then I am not the author for them, because I like it as wrapped up in a bow as much as I can. Sometimes, as in my One True North, I had a bit of a backlash, but a few people saying, well, you didn't write an epilogue. And I thought, no, I didn't, because as far as I was concerned, the story ended on the biggest high that I could give them. And anything else would have felt as if I was bringing down the action. And I can't do that. So I have to leave it on the biggest high for me as an author. And I enjoy that. I enjoy the fact now that especially in, oh my goodness, the letters, I get 1, 2 a day at least now from people in this pandemic who have turned to our books wanting comfort and said, I used to read crime, but I couldn't face it. I wanted something cozy. I wanted something hopeful. I've picked you, or I've picked somebody else, and then I've read you. And that's such a lovely compliment to have. And that's why I do it, because I now love that effect that I have on people.
Yeah. I always save your books for a holiday, or if I can, and then I was saving this for the Christmas holiday, but I've read it. I've read half of it before this event. But yeah, and you're right, it is just that pure escapism. So yeah. Okay, thank you. So I've taken this from your biog. Your books champion women and their strength and resilience, and celebrate love, friendship, and the possibility of second chances. But I think sometimes, and you sort of touched upon it a little bit, is that people can be scathing about female fiction and chick lit and things and those kind of genres. And I wondered if you'd like to talk a little bit about literary snobbery.
I don't think we can ever stop it. I think it just exists. It's not all literary people who are snobs. I think it's more it's like one of those things where they've got an ingrained prejudice, and you say, well, you bring someone to question, why don't you think that it's as good as a literary fiction or a crime fiction? And a lot of people can't unsee it. I know a couple of years ago, there was an issue with the Booker Prize. One of the judges said that he didn't like any of the books. They're all too readable. Now, for me, I want a book to be readable, but I don't want to be some sort of inverted snob, because there are books out there for everyone. There are books for people who like the challenging. There are books for people who like the crime. There are books for people who like a Mills and Boon romance, which is it's an easily digested and a simple storyline. They don't need to be challenged too much. They just want to read a lovely story. And so there's something for everybody out there, but I've never really understood why that our genre is a lesser book.
Yeah, I know.
Some books in our genre that could totally cock a snooker any literary novel out there, and I've thought this is so beautifully written. It might be a romance, it might as well be a literary. I've never read anything as lovely as that, but I like a story. I like a beginning, middle, and an end. I like to know where I'm going. I like my to get their comeuppances, or or at least a little bit of it, because I don't, life isn't always like that, and the baddies sometimes get away with things. But again, what I've just said to you before about the so many people who have read different books and have drafted over to our books in this pandemic because they've wanted the comfort. To me, absolutely shows the value that we can give. I would put money on the fact that crime writers, literary writers, don't get the sort of letters that we do, where people pour out their hearts and say, "You've done this for me. I just wanted to tell you just the effect that you've had on me." Today, where is it? I got this gorgeous letter. I put it on Facebook. You see it. It's Millie Johnson, author, Barnsley. And this old lady had written the most beautiful letter to me. An old lady who just wanted to get this to me. And it did. It got to me. When I opened it, I thought, God, I hope this isn't somebody slagging me off who's trying to trace me down. And it's the most beautiful letter someone's written to me, just traced me to tell me the effect. They reach out to tell you the effect that they've had on you. And I would guess that it probably is only our genre that get that. So why are our books lesser books? And I think by now there will always be those who say, "Oh well, they're not as good," and certainly the establishment will not entertain them in certain magazines or whatever. Or, we're not as highbrow. But my philosophy was always, get so big that they can't ignore you. And
you've done that.
Look into various magazines, etc. I've always wanted to sort of break down those barriers, but I think there will be a long time in breaking down. And in the meantime, we just say, yeah, talk to the hand. We bank the checks, we write the books, we get the deals, and just carry on. I don't think there's anything that we can do about it.
No, and in a way, I'd rather receive those letters.
Yeah. We manage without the hybrid. It's lovely when you do get in because you feel really special if one of the papers cover you, etc. But they will cover someone like Marion Keyes or Jojo Moyes, who again has got so big they can't be ignored. And it's a role that we will chip away and are chipping away at very, 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 very slowly. And the prejudice will eventually break down. But we kind of have this discussion everything and think, when they come out, "Oh, chick lit is dead," and you think, no, it's not. And we carry on. We carry on writing the books and just don't get involved in the arguments because it's a waste of energy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely.
All they wanted, because our readers buy the books. We know from the people that go into shops and supermarkets how many of our books are sold, and that's all the evidence that we need to know we are very popular and wanted and loved.
Yeah, good point. Very good, Millie. Okay, so I mentioned in the intro that you are passionate about community spirit, Yorkshire, of course, and creating strong, resilient female characters. So how do you create those characters and the sense of community spirit? Because I feel like it really does come from the heart and personal experience.
It does, because I've been shown a lot of kindness in my life. You know, I've been shown, and there is no such thing as a simple kindness. All kindnesses are big, and they can have massive impacts. And I've seen a lot of those little kindnesses that have had massive impacts upon my life. And so I just key into that. And when I write, I like strong women.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't necessarily mean they're very strong at the beginning of my book.
No.
And you know, years ago, I was trapped in this horrible marriage, and I remember being probably at the lowest ebb that I've ever been, and thought, "Is this it? Is this all my life is going to be from now on? Is this tiny house, job I hated, husband I was too keen on either?" And then fast forward 20 years. I've just celebrated my 20th divorce anniversary. I look back at the woman I was then and the woman I am now, and realise just that you can change, that you can switch paths and carve out another fate for yourself. And so I kind of lead by example. My characters might be trapped, because I think at school we all had ideas of what we're going to do and what we're going to be and what job we're going to have and how many Doberman pinchers we're going to have and how many bedrooms in 3 days. And then, you know, real life bites into those dreams, and we lose track of the dream, and you know, we settle sometimes for smaller dreams. And I've met so many of my mates who did that, left school at 17, married a bloke, had a couple of kids, thought, this is my life. And then, you know, they've ditched the kids have grown up, they've ditched their husband, lost a load of weight, looked fantastic, and got a new life, got a new bloke. And I've seen it so many times, these wonderful experiences. And I love them. And I think for anyone who isn't happy with their lot, you can change it. You can change it. And so I've had an awful lot of letters from women who have said, do you know, I never realized that I was in an abusive relationship until I read your book. You supplied a template of a woman who's in an abusive relationship, and they didn't know, because their goalpost of normality so much that they accept that as a norm and somebody talking to them like crap. And they look objectively at someone in a book and think, God, that's me. I shouldn't be thinking this. And I worry that the ex-husband are going to come looking for me, because they've told me the ex-husband out on the strength of reading one of my books, and I know other authors have had this experience as well. But to go back to the question, I think that if you are not happy with your life, you can change. And I think that all women are very, very strong for other people. They're strong for their kids. They're strong for their parents. They're strong for their mates. Well, that strength is in them. And usually the last person to get any share of that strength is themselves. And so I try and show in my books that this is their time to reign, that this is their time to be their own best mates, and to have the life they want. And I enjoy that. I enjoy taking someone right from the lowest point of building up and showing them how strong they are. I think all women underestimate how strong they are. You know, if you're a mother or a daughter or whatever, you'll have had to fight for somebody else. I think you forget that. You think, I'm not very strong. But then you look at your own life and think, well, actually, I did that. I stood up for them. I did that. My mum was at the hospital. And you don't realise. And I think it takes somebody else or something else to show you how strong you are. And I like to celebrate that with women. I like to say to them, we're here, we've got one shot at this. Don't celebrate the second best. Don't settle for second best. No. Go out and get what you want.
Yeah, definitely. There's one that really stuck with me. I think it's Afternoon Tea at the Sunflower Cafe. Yeah. Is that the one with the antique?
No, that's Queen of Wishful Thinking with the antique shop.
There's one where she's with a husband who's like, he wants his tea on the table. He's very he don't let her spend money and things like that. Oh, I've read it 3 or 4
That is after. No, they're both the same. Actually, they both got quite similar husbands, but the one,
Right.
Queen of Wishful Thinking, she works in an antique shop, and
Yes.
he's one of the vilest and villains that I've ever done.
Yeah.
He's very creepy and won her over with a charm offensive.
Yes.
Yes, it could very possibly be him. And he asked her, he's a control freak, an absolute control freak.
Yeah. That stayed with me. I don't know if there's one who's a lot older than she is and a bit of a scruff, and he's not nice either. Yeah.
He's a bit older than her, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so
to write is vile.
Yes, I could sense you'd enjoyed writing that one. So as I've just shown, really, the characters stay with you long after you finish reading. And I wondered if that's how it is for like the reader. How long does it take you to leave a book behind when you finish writing, especially if you're trying to write your next book?
Oh, it's terrible, it's awful because you get very, very fond of characters. Then you have to park them and start the next book. And because your heart and your head are full of these characters that you know very well, suddenly you're plunged into this new world of new characters that at the beginning you don't know very well, and your energy levels are quite depleted because you just want to go back to these people.
Yeah.
Which is a reason why, right from the off, I kept bringing them back and parking them and popping them, my characters from other books in earlier books, and I'd pop them in later books because I needed to know that they were okay and they were still together and they were still alive, still functioning, still going on cruises, etc. So I needed to know that, and that's why I did it. You get incredibly fond of people. This last book, I wish it could be Christmas every day, because it was a very compact cast. Right, because I usually have like the cast of Ben-Hur in my books, loads and loads, but only 6 in here, and another character, a voiceover. And I fell in love with them all. And I even now I'm finding an excuse not to carry on with the next book because I just want to be in their world for a bit longer. You get very attached to them. They become real to the extent that if you're trying to put words in their mouth and you're writing, and they almost tell you, they always say, "I'm sorry, darling, I wouldn't say that." They end up dictating the words that they say, and it's almost as if they're acting it out and you're a conduit and you're just writing down what they say. It's a very weird process. But that's because we live, breathe and eat our characters. And
that's amazing that they can just come to life for you like that, because they're in your head, but from what you're saying, they actually come to life for you.
Yes, they do. They don't have to be very big either. Certain videos that you've only ever intended to be a bit of a plot device and suddenly start blossoming and blooming and become characters in their own right and take over the book. And you're going, wait a minute, hang on a minute, you're just a subsidiary character. And they end up on the stage. Mad.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I can't believe they actually, like you say, they've just come to life for you. So your books are very popular in other countries, and I just wondered how it feels to receive acclaim from all over the world.
Oh, it's lovely because my books are valued all over the world. I don't get as many deals as a lot of people because I think the humour, I've been told that the humour doesn't travel as well, and there are certain themes, etc., that won't go down well in certain countries. So it's nice to get some deals. Today I just had a lovely letter from a Hungarian lady. Can't believe you've replied, can I have a bookmark, etc. And that's lovely because you do wonder, how your humour has been translated by Hungary. And it's lovely. Turkish and Hungary, especially, I get a lot of letters.
No way.
calm down. The weird thing is, I've just been parked in America. I haven't got an American, but my books are available on ebook in America, and they've been Americanized. So we've got you know, to make it easy, for instance, The Magnificent Mrs. Mayhew. That was a nightmare to translate, as it were, because the Americans don't have the same kind of government setup as and public schools here are kind of comps over there. You know, the public open to the public, so there's a lot of translating to do, and yet you get people who write from America and say, no, we don't want the American ones. We buy it. We want the English ones because we buy.
They love that quintessentially English stuff. Yeah.
So they buy them over here and have them shipped across. So I have no idea. You know, it's parked out there, and you know, I go down very well in Italy, which is marvelous because I love Italy, and you know, when I get more and more deals, I've just got my first Swedish deal. They've bought like millions of them, and Denmark. You know, so that's nice because, as I said, because my books are set in Yorkshire, you do wonder if they, you know, how they're received abroad, and it's
because the Yorkshire Pudding Club is
yes,
about the pregnant women and the, you know, Yorkshire pudding, and you just wonder, like you say, how that would translate.
Well, it didn't. It didn't. The title, the Yorkshire Pudding Club, didn't translate at all.
No.
Because people didn't, if they knew what the Pudding Club was, they didn't know what Yorkshire pudding was. I remember having a conversation with an Italian lady who I was trying to explain to what a Yorkshire pudding was, and she hadn't a clue. So
they need to get Yorkshire puddings in their life, don't they?
That's just no. Italy's got everything, but it's not got Yorkshire puddings. In Italy, the book was called The Surprise Club, El Club della Sorpresi. And then in Spain, it was El Club del Pudding. In Germany, it was, you can translate that yourself. In Germany, it was The Yorkshire Baby Club. And in Denmark, it was, they put 3 big pregnant stomachs on the front, so you just got a profile of 3, and it was called Dry Double Dining, which apparently translates to triple swellings. I know. So the Yorkshire, that taught me a lesson. You know, triple swelling.
Oh, that's such a romantic title
for you and showing it to you, but it's bonkers.
That's funny. So, what's the best and worst thing about being an author?
The worst thing is, well, the worst thing is not the worst thing for me. It's the worst thing for my family, because I find it very hard to switch off. I'm doing the job I love, and I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
And I know this happens to other authors because we've had this discussion. And my other half will start talking to me, and I'm already thinking, my brain's gone, and I'm thinking of a plot. I'm trying to work a plot. And he says, you haven't heard, what have I just said? And I can't reply to it. And it's really awful. But my brain spins on books all the time. I'm obsessed by books. And even though I love it, I find it's not very fair on, you know, I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
That is in this job, of course, writing the book is the easy part. It's knowing how to say no to lovely things that you would really like to do, but you just haven't got the time for.
Yeah.
Because it's such a great job. I do it all day, every day. There are other people in my life.
Yes.
So I could do with more hours in the day. So it's just me being rude, I think you'd probably boil down to it. It's too easy to get obsessed with this. I can't put it down. It wakes me up in the middle of the night sometimes when I'm trying to work out what. It's as if someone's nudged me at 2 o'clock and said, you know what, that can't work. You need to alter that because that can't happen.
That's amazing.
And it, you know, it's a bizarre thing, but it's obviously your brain, you know, when you're trying to work out the answer to a crossword and you can't do it, and you go away and iron it, suddenly pops into your head. There's obviously a process going on in the behind your brain somewhere that is trying to, little men on typewriters trying to work out. The best thing about this job is that it is the job I always wanted. I've feel so lucky that I'm in my niche.
Yeah.
I've, you know, I'm doing all right at it. I've worked hard to get where I am.
Yeah.
And things happen all the time in this job. You know, you never know what the email might bring. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I had an email saying, you know, have the film rights to Winter Flame been bought yet? And it was like, woof, you know, Hollywood firm, didn't come to anything, they passed. But it's stuff like that. You never know what can happen during the day. Things pop up all the time. You get emails that you're not expecting. Really exciting things, invitations. So it's an absolute plus.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's hard work. It just doesn't feel like hard work. But it is. You know, you work. I do a lot of hours, and but I love it.
Yeah.
But I do. My work-life balance is terrible, awful.
Yeah, because I think as well, Millie, I always, you know, I follow your Facebook page and everything. I think, how does she do it? Like, she's written that book and then she's doing a hamper, or, you know, yeah, you're doing, and you put so much effort into, you know, staying in touch with your readers and things like that. I think, I don't know how she does it.
It's hard, you know, and people have said, well, you should get someone to do your social media. But
Yeah.
I enjoy doing the social media. I'm not sure anyone can capture my voice.
No.
And I've had some really good luck and good book sales and stuff. And I feel I like to put something back.
Yeah. Because that comes across, you can tell it, you know, obviously you can tell it's you. It definitely comes across.
Oh, I love it.
Through. Yeah.
For the sake of, you know, by getting a few hampers together and things, you know, and putting it out there, I'm very, very grateful to readers who have put me where I am.
Yeah.
On wintry nights, I've been into Tesco's in Barnsley and I've sold 400 hardbacks because people have turned out at night to get a hardback. And I'm so grateful for that, I want to give as much back as I can.
Yeah.
And free books, I always buy extra books and give books out and stuff, the hampers and things. It's just finding extra bits that other people don't do, but it's worked. You know, it's got me as you know, it's got me a very, very successful career. And I'm just grateful. I'm just really grateful and thankful.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a thank you. It's a thank you to my readers. The two most powerful words in the English language. Thank you. They have a great power, and I feel like a very, very lucky lass. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, but you do put the effort in, definitely. How has this year been for you, and how have you got through it? How have you got through 2020, Millie? Come on.
Well, it's a way, you know, my life hasn't really changed that much because I'm in lockdown all the flipping time. You know, I'm at a desk.
Yeah.
But I found that I was operating on two levels, i.e. one where I had to get the book done and carry on as normal.
Yeah.
And of course, I was terrified, absolutely terrified, you know, getting on a bit overweight, you know, a bit asthmatic. I'm terrified, I still am. So you're operating on two levels. And to be honest with you, right at the beginning, when it all happened, I just couldn't work. For some reason, I just couldn't engage. I was too worried, too anxious about things, worried about my mum, worried about my kids, you know. Oh, men, but they still live in the house. And so my son, I just down tools. My son said to me, "Come and watch Game of Thrones." We've been trying for a while, years, to get me to watch Game of Thrones. Not interested. It's not a thing. Don't like fantasy. Just watch one. So I watched one, and then I watched another. Then I watched another. I got totally hooked on it. The nights just go fast enough for me. We went in the next room, watched Game of Thrones, the whole lot, and I just found that getting out of the way, just letting myself off the hook, just watching something that totally absorbed me the way that other people absorb in books, just took me to a place where I could think about that and nothing else. When we exhausted the series, I realized that I did have to get back to work because I had an edit to do. And I found that I could ease myself back into the groove again.
Yeah.
Just by just by giving myself a break, really, just a mental break.
Yeah.
But I know it's been very, very hard on people. You know, I've been lucky. I've still been able to work. My lads couldn't go out to work. My other half's an antiques dealer. There was nobody buying, nobody selling. So we were okay. You know, they didn't work. You know, I kind of, we had enough ground to stay at home and close the doors and watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Appreciated how lucky that, you know, we were in those circumstances. But it was very scary. And I found what helped me very much was not thinking too far ahead, was thinking very much the message of my new book. The here and now is all we have and all we can play with.
Yeah.
So thinking of the next 24 hours and no further than that really helped me, because all that anxious, you know, the anxiety, what if that happened, blah, blah. And it was just a total waste of energy. But all I could think of was let's get through the 24 hours. The next 24 hours will take us a day nearer to the vaccine. And now I think that we see the finishing line in sight. Yeah. Christmas is going to be, you know, as it is. Let's just get it over and done with. And I'm hoping that somewhere around about March or April, when everybody's had the vaccine, that all the pubs will put a Christmas menu on and say, come and have your Christmas dinner here.
Yeah.
And we can have a belated Christmas.
Yeah.
I would rather have, I mean, you know, we're lucky because my bubble is just me, the lads, my partner, and my mum. So our Christmas wouldn't have changed much.
Yeah.
You know, I lost my dad last Christmas, so I've had a lot on my brain. So letting myself off the hook, and as I say, just thinking 24 hours in advance was a great help to me.
Yeah.
And fueled my book, of course, just thinking of the here and now. Let's just enjoy this for what it is. Let's not think too far ahead.
No. And I think I've seen that done, what you're saying, you know, about the Christmas in summer. When I've been on holiday in this country and there's beach huts, I've seen people doing Christmas dinner in the beach huts. I think it's when maybe they have family in Australia and things that they haven't been able to see, and they just do it then. So I'm all for that. Let's start a campaign, Millie. Yeah. So other than Game of Thrones, then are there any good books that, and obviously yours, but are there any other good books that have got you through lockdown?
Oh, I've read some crackers. I've actually gone back to the classics, you know, the comfort reads, my Agatha Christie's thing. A friend of mine, Debbie Johnson, who lives in Liverpool, her book.
Met Debbie.
Yeah, have you? Well, she's great.
Yeah,
isn't she?
yeah.
And the books are her on paper form, and she's just had one of her books called "Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Jumper" turned into a Hallmark film. It's just been shown over in America. And I read that again. You never kiss a. They've changed it to "Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater," and that's a really lovely story. And that I read that recently because I wanted something to get me into the Christmas groove. But that's a lovely story.
Debbie's I'll have to read that one over Christmas.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
She'd just written one that I'd read called Maybe One Day, which was a lovely, lovely book. I read one, I read a couple actually. One called, it was a bit dark, it was called My Dark Vanessa, about a woman who years ago when she was 15, she had a bit of a fling with a teacher. She was groomed basically. And now this teacher has done it again, but she's grown up now. And it's all her working out whether she was really in love with this guy and he was in love with her, or she was actually a victim of, you know, grooming. It's very dark, but I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. And another one called Heatstroke by Hazel Barkworth. Similar kind of story about a young girl that's been abducted, and she's gone missing, you know. And the woman who is the narrator is the mother of this girl's best friend, and it's all about her relationship with her daughter as well. But the way it's written, it's like reading a poem. It's by, I think it's called Hazel Barkworth. It's the most beautifully written book. I absolutely adored her writing style. It's one of those books that you read and you think, why can't I write like that? No, one of those. What else have I read? I am at the moment reading Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club, is it?
Yeah.
I'd heard a lot about it and I thought I need to cave in and get it because I wanted something cozy. Oh my goodness,
Is it good?
and sit. Oh, it's brilliant. I'm a few chapters in and I can't wait to get to bed to read it.
I love books.
And I love him anyway, you know.
Do.
His voice is all the way through this book. It's lovely, sweet. It's almost like as if Victoria Wood had written a crime book.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What else?
Though, aren't they? Like, I love the banter that he has with Xander Armstrong on Pointless.
It's great. Just know they're good mates, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm looking at my bookshelves now. What else have I read? I said I went back to the classics because my book, the one that I've written, you know, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, the Jane Austen book, Persuasion, features very heavily.
Yes.
And I thought I'm going to read that again. You know, I read it every couple of years, blah blah. But I loved it. I love that story so much. And then I had to pick a book for to do a sort of a book that another, it's an art genre, romantic genre book, and I picked one of my favourites to revisit, Catherine Cookson's Streets. And read that, and that got me right back into my old Catherine Cookson groove. I've lined a few up to read over the next few weeks, but oh my goodness, she was good, you know, and she was a beacon on my path. So I've gone back to quite a few familiar books.
Yeah,
I love just for that comfort blanket thing. But I really, really, at the moment, I'm reading the Richard Osman book, and I just love it. I adore it.
Yeah, really. I do like him. So I've got my last question now, and it's, you know, you've done Christmas novels before, and you know this one, I'm halfway through, and it's just jam packed with love, and you know it's funny, and it's got the magic of Christmas and that cozy feel. And I just wondered, what do you love most about Christmas, and what traditions do you keep?
Well, it's not going to happen this year, I don't think, but every Christmas Eve, myself and my pals, we all go to Christingle up at the local.
Yeah.
And there's something about that feeling in a church at Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It brings back all those lovely memories of you going to Sunday school, and it kind of connects you with the spirituality of Christmas, and that's lovely.
Mm-hmm.
That and then we go down the road to my friend's house, get the bottle of port out, and have quite a lot of it with some cheese. I love that. I love the pantomime, and always. But now the lads, for quite some time now, are like, "Do you want to go to the panto?" You know, how old am I? So me and Mike, there's about 10 of us, all go for a few drinks. We go to the pantomime. We sit along with the kids doing the wee behind you, you know, it's behind you. And then we go off for a curry afterwards. And we love it for years. Yeah. And I like the same things at Christmas. I like the same people around the table.
Yeah.
We do the same things. I like that lovely familiarity. I've still got the same decorations that the kids made years ago at school. They're all falling to bits. I'm not one of these that has the Christmas tree with all red or all green. Just the decorations of dropping to bits. They, you know, my other house says, "Can we not get some new ones?" And I thought, no, I like the old decorations. I like to watch the same films. I will go in. We've got a snug little sitting room where the cat sleeps, my old cat, and we've got a TV in there. And on Boxing Day or the day after Boxing Day, I go in there, shut the curtains, get the bottle of Baileys out. There's just me and a film. Either it's an old black and white one that nobody else wants to watch.
Yeah, really.
It would be my one of choice is The Bishop's Wife. with Cary Grant.
Okay, I haven't seen that one. I have to watch that.
Gorgeous. And every year that comes out, it's black and white. Not that that matters at all, but I love that film, and I just do it I know nobody else wants to watch it, but I do make them all watch either Porridge the movie or Home Alone. Me and my other all watch it.
Home Alone.
Home Alone is just the best.
Yeah.
And we weren't perfect, but it's that blessed familiarity.
It's not Christmas if you don't watch Home Alone.
No, it's not.
No.
And I'm so glad, and we watch one. Sometimes we watch two. We never watch three. Never.
No. Two's all right.
I love having the house where the lads, because they're usually upstairs talking to their mates or whatever they do,
Yeah.
But I love it when we're all downstairs, the log fire's on, all the cats are draped all over it, the dogs at the feet, plenty to eat and drink. And I just love that feeling of the here and now and this family, because you can't compare Christmases. The first last year was the first Christmas without my dad. He'd only just gone, and I did the same. I didn't want the same, and in the end, I didn't do it. I thought last Christmas we were doing this. Next Christmas this might not happen. You just have to appreciate every single Christmas.
Yeah.
What it is. Don't.
Yeah, and that's a good attitude to have for this year, isn't it?
I think so, but I never was that sort of person. I think this is the big lesson that I'm taking from this year. That's the big positive that I'm taking, to enjoy the here and now more.
Yeah.
And
I think there's a lot of pressure put on Christmas, if you don't have a Terry's chocolate orange, other brands are available. It's not the perfect Christmas.
Oh,
and it's
God.
like, there's so much pressure to have everything on your plate.
Yeah.
And you go to 5 supermarkets to try and get it, and I think, well, you'd enjoy it anyway, even if you didn't have that particular thing on your plate.
We aren't like if years to come, I don't want my son saying, "Oh God, my girlfriend's invited me to spend Christmas with her, and I daren't tell me mum." It's fine.
Yeah.
I want to have you. We can have another Christmas. I'll make a Christmas dinner halfway through the week or whatever. You don't. I don't want. I hate that pressure. You've got to do this.
Yeah.
You've got to have this, and it should be fun. And trouble with Christmas is you end up everybody trying to please everybody else, and not actually enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I want people to enjoy it, and this Christmas, and with my loved ones around the table, and and it will be the nicest Christmas that I can have. And we don't need that much.
No. This year's taught us anything. It's that it's not the gifts, is it, that's important. And you're right about the decks. This snowman behind me, I've had for years, that my mum gave me, and she's very talented. Kate, who works at the library, she makes different decks every year, and I've got them all. So this she made me years ago. She made a Stranger Things bauble one year that I love. She's made some absolutely gorgeous things, and then when I look at my tree, it just makes me smile. It really does, because it's just all memories of my childhood, now my little girl's childhood and family and everything. It doesn't all match, like you say. It doesn't matter. So Millie, did you have some Christmas cracker jokes for us, and then we'll ask some questions from the audience?
Because my heart is in Christmas jokes. So I've been writing some. So I'll pick out the Christmassy ones rather than say, "Oh, it's Christmas crackers." So why did the Christmas star go to the psychiatrist?
Go on.
Because he was paranoid he was being followed. What's the difference between a small Christmas bird and a Christmas tree seller? One is a robin redbreast and the other is a robin git. Right. What's furry with a long neck and sings carols? A fa la 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 llama. Right. I used to make quite a lot of money writing jokes.
Yes.
If snow is water and water has no calories, how come snowmen are always so fat?
True.
What does Pythagoras like to eat at Christmas?
Go on.
A mince pie.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you call a snow woman going through the menopause? A puddle. A puddle. Right. Let's have a look. Wait a minute, hang on. Why did Santa go on Tinder? Because he wanted to pull a cracker. Knock, knock.
Who's that?
Mary and Josie. Sorry, bugger off. We've got no rooms. Right. What's the Queen's favourite part of it? Remember, these are for crackers, so they're bad.
Yeah, they're good.
Queen's favourite part of a turkey. I think you can work this out. The crown.
The crown. I just said it. I just got it.
What's Santa's favourite wine? Prosecco, ho ho ho. Right.
Oh, good one. I like that one.
What Christmas dessert is green and hops around on the plate? A Yule frog. That's terrible, I know. Who is Santa's favourite singer? Michael Bublé.
Nice.
What vegetables do snowmen grow in the toilet? Frozen peas. Right. What sort of cheese do Mary and Joseph like best? Cheeses of Nazareth, of course. What do you call a pink chameleon sitting on a green Christmas tree? A really crap chameleon. Work that one out. And why don't snowmen make good door-to-door salesmen?
Go on.
Because no one likes cold callers.
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
I'll leave you with the last one because I'll not torment you too much. How do we know that Jesus was born £7 6 ounce? Because he had a way in a manger.
Amazing. Well done. Boom.
Hey!
Well done, Millie. Well done.
I have more, but I'm not going to torment you. So this is what I do in my spare time. I write these jokes for crackers.
Do you have any?
And you make time. This is it, you see. When people say, I'd love to write a book, but I ain't got time.
Yeah.
You know, I said, I wrote a book when I had a full-time job. My husband had buggered off. I had 2 small children under 3. I walked through the night. You make time for the important things. Yeah. And of course, my prime example is, you say, I ain't got time. I ain't got time to spend half an hour on a book. Right, okay. So someone knocks on the door and you open the door and it's Liam Neeson there with a bottle of wine. And he says, you haven't got half an hour, have you, just to have a wee sit down and a bottle of, this wine with me? Wouldn't you find the time? You would.
Listen, Liam, I've got a load of washing to do and a load of ironing. You'll have to
wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. So you make time for things that are important.
Yeah. At the moment, mine would be Declan Donnelly.
Would it?
And that's why I love I'm a Celeb, yeah.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? Well, that's one less to travel down to get to Liam.
It is. So if you're watching, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, have we got some questions from the lovely people at home, please? Let's see. He's gonna. Janet Mills says, when planning to write a book, what comes first for you? The title, the characters, or the plot, and why?
It all depends, Janet. I've written all sorts of books with all sorts of triggers. For instance, the last one, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day. I just thought, what a stonking title. And I want this. And I was terrified that somebody else would get it before I did. So I had this title parked in my head and I had to wrap the story around it. Other books, the Yorkshire Pudding Club was based on, my first book was based on my pregnancy diaries. So I had the plot about 3 women. I had the storyline about 3 women who all got pregnant at the same time. And then we had a mad scramble to find a title. Sometimes, say for instance, The Perfectly Imperfect Woman, that was a newspaper story. I had neither a plot or a title. And a friend of mine, sent me a story about this privately owned village up in North Yorkshire. And that triggered off the plot for me. So it can come from anywhere. The Magnificent Mrs. Mayhew was based on Mrs. Trump, because Melania Trump, I was looking at her eyes and thinking, I'd love to know what's going on, but she looks so impassive and very cool and detached. But I knew that there was a lot of activity going on behind her brain. So the whole story was wrapped around this woman who was a politician's wife, who everyone had judged. You all have an opinion about Melania Trump. Oh, she's this, she's that, the other. Dragged through the press. She said herself she was the most maligned and bullied woman on the planet. And I really felt for her. And that kind of triggered off this story about an English equivalent of a woman married to a highfalutin MP. And so it can come from anywhere. It can come from a title, a place, a story, a plot, something overheard, a character. They're all different. They're all different.
Fantastic, thank you. We've got another question, please, from the audience. So Rosie's asking, does Millie have any input on the design of her gorgeous book covers?
Well, what usually happens, Rosie, is that the art department go away. They're briefed on the story and they work with the editor. They know what goes. You know, it's not rocket science, but they know that certain there are certain integers in a book cover that will go. For instance, book covers with a female character on the front always tend to go better than ones that don't. There are certain trends. Sometimes the covers are very busy. At the moment, they're kind of stripped back. The covers are stripped back. The designs are very clean. So the art department will go away with the editor and they'll come up with something and then they'll present it to me. And we work together. I see the immediate impact. I see why they have picked the design that they have.
Mm-hmm.
Then myself and my agent will go, not quite sure about that, don't like that, that character's hair's wrong. And so we kind of, it's like it bats to me and then we bat it back and then it bats back. And then when everybody's happy with it, then it goes out. But there's a procedure and we are quite diplomatic between us, and we all end up with the cover that we're happy with, and that process worked very well for us all the way through.
Yeah, fantastic. That's quite unusual because quite a lot of the time authors say they don't have a say at all, so that's really good actually.
They're always, I think you need to be happy when something's going out. I'm not very visual, you know. I will say I don't like that, and they say, well, pick that because blah blah blah. I see. So I will always bow to greater knowledge. But if I've absolutely loathed something, like the draft cover of My One True North, I hated it. We all hated it. It had this kind of emptiness in the front. There was a fireman in the background who looked as if he was a character from from Rainbow, you know, like one of the kids' shows, who has trousers with the braces on. None of us liked it, and so we went back to the drawing board quite a few times on that one, and ended up with this lovely cover that I thought was perfect.
Yeah, it's a lovely cover.
Yes, they are always very conscious of my feelings, and I want to have. I want to be able to push the book out as a complete unit, and you're doing well because I've got gold and I've got bits that glitter now and stuff, and proud lettering and things in a hardback. So you want it to be the best. I need to have conviction that this is the best book I can produce, and the best package that I can produce. And I'm very proud. I think that in the end, all the books that I have gone out there, and I've been very proud to be an ambassador for their work as well as mine.
And I think you would, if it didn't have your name on it, you could probably say, yeah, that's a Millie Johnson.
Yeah, which is nice. I've become a brand.
You have, darling. You have.
Lovely, you know, and that's very exciting, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, they are, but they've evolved slightly. At the beginning, you'll notice that now my name has a capital M and a capital J, because my friend's a teacher and there were small letters. She went, "We spend all this time in school."
I've never noticed that. That would bug me, actually.
And you know, and that was kind of but it was instantly recognizable. But they evolve. The covers evolve so that there's still one foot in the old camp and they're instantly recognizable. But the lettering thickens up and you get a capital. So they're evolving, they're growing all the time and changing, because you can only have so much of the same, and then the titles need to evolve. You need to grow up and change just enough to keep the interest going.
Yeah. Fantastic. We've got another question. Oh, the big boss of our library service, Subnum. Do you worry that writing a book about Christmas, seasonal, that it will only be read at Christmas and not have appeal year long round, or is that not a thing? Do people read Christmas books throughout the year?
I think I know that writing a Christmas book, we have a quite short shelf life, and that's what it is. You know, some people do read Christmas books through the year, but I personally wouldn't. So I know that when a Christmas book comes out, that we have a limited time to make a maximum impact. But there are a lot of Christmas shops out there that make enough to in the Christmas period to sail through the rest of the year. So I have to appreciate that this has got a limited shelf life, but you always hope that your book will be a Christmas classic.
That's it. I was going to say it's something that you revisit, like Home Alone.
Absolutely, it will be the one book that people take out and think, like I do with my Hercule Poirot's Christmas. I'm going to read this at Christmas again. So yes, it's the nature of the beast. You know, you've written a Christmas book. You have to give it everything in the allotted window of time. I kind of like that, you know. Even though I've got 3 Christmas books out there, and the other 2, they take, even one's about a Christmas theme park, but it's kind of the whole thing through the year. And the Christmas, the Mother of All Christmases, is actually it's a summer book, really. It lives up to Christmas, and of course it's about a Christmas cracker film. But by sheer virtue of the fact that it's got Christmas, that kind of plants it in a season. And that's fine. As I say, it's the nature of the beast. So I imagine that people do read Christmas books through the year, but I think most people want to read a Christmas book at Christmas to get themselves in the mood. And
definitely. Yeah. Lovely. Another question? Getting through them. Sarah says, you are so funny. Would you consider doing stand-up comedy?
I do occasionally. I do quite a few charity evenings where I dress up, sing opera. I feel that if I'm doing that and making a chump of myself for charity, that if it all goes horribly wrong, that people will be not forgiving. But yes, I love it. I write a lot of comedy. My background is jokes. I've written for comedians, etc., and I love doing routines. So yes, I do. But books are my real love. And that is one of the, if somebody said, if you didn't write books, what would you do? My second one would, I'd love to be a stand-up comic, but I just, while ever I can write books, that is my first love. And but I've, my background, as I say, is joke writing, which is why Christmas cracker jokes are right up my street. And writing a joke book have been for ages. It's just getting round to it. But yes, I love humour. I love jokes. Humour's seen me and a load of other people through some rough times. So yes, I love it. I love humour, jokes, funnies, anything. So thank you for the compliment.
Definitely. Another question. What's your favourite Christmas song? Oh, good one.
I like my favourite Christmas song, I think, is Blue Christmas by Elvis Presley. I love that. And my favourite hymn, I think, is "O Little Town of Bethlehem."
Yeah, that's a nice
Yeah,
one.
I think it's
Yeah.
just it just reminds me of being a kid and it being a very gentle story, a very gentle song. And so yes, if I've got Elvis crooning away in modern times. But I'll tell you what I do like to listen to on Christmas morning when I'm cooking through the headphones. Handel's Messiah.
Oh,
And,
yes.
and I really wanted to do this year, but I can't. I've always wanted to go to the Albert Hall and listen to the Messiah. And I had this year, not been this year, and it been on. I wish I'd done it. I think it was on either last year or the year before. It must have been the year before, I think. And I'd love to see it. And I thought the next time it comes around, that's what I'm booking. And I love that through the headphones on Christmas morning. I'm singing away. I'm in perfect tune, obviously. Headphones on. When I'm peeling the sprouts, and that, it's me and the Messiah.
Yeah, fantastic. Millie, have you ever heard Stevie Wonder's One Little Christmas Tree?
No.
I know no one's ever heard of it, and I can't. I listen to it every Christmas and I cry my eyes out. So we'll listen to it this Christmas. One Little Christmas Tree, Stevie
Well,
Wonder.
to that one, I thought I'd heard of them all.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a really nice song.
Yeah.
I think we've got time for just a couple more questions.
I'm here for the duration. I'm here all night.
Hi, Millie. This is B, I think. Hi, Millie. How many of your friends and family have inspired characters in your books?
It's very odd because some people can inspire a character and they're quite like them at the beginning, but then they fly off and become their own people. So they aren't actually the same at the end of the book as they are at the beginning. They're unrecognizable. There's a few horrible bosses I've had that have inspired characters. And there's a character in my new book who was a friend of mine who's passed. And I sometimes still talk to her because I think, what would you do in this situation? And I thought there's a cat, and I thought I'd do that. And so in my next book, there is my friend. I think it's probably the nearest that I've ever had a character based on a real person. And that's almost because I want to bring my friend back and talk to her myself, if that makes any sense. But yes, I think there are a lot of little germs of people in stories, but sometimes they recognize themselves, and I think it's not even based on you. I don't know where you got that from. And people said, that's me in that book. Now I say, it's not, it's nowhere near. So some people can see what they want to see. But yes, of course, a lot of friends and people I know have inspired the characters, but the people that they are have become lost in all the detail, if that makes any sense to you. Certainly, as I said, because the last book I did, I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, I was working quite a few things out myself, and I always think it's a bit like mine and my dad's book. There's a few dad and kid things in this story.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
And my dad is very kind of pressed into the pages of this book for me, which was lovely, because when I wrote this book, I needed to cheer myself up, and so I stopped it. Even though it was therapy for me writing it through, I didn't want to write a book that people would be miserable reading. I packed it full of everything jolly and the sad bits. You need light and shade in your books, but hopefully the funny stuff, the light stuff, the happy stuff, far outweighs any of the stuff that might make you cry. I wanted it to be a very book full of all the love that I've had with my dad in my book.
Yeah, that definitely shines through. One more question, I think, please. Have we got any more? Might not have. Oh, here we go. Jo, who's your favourite character across all of your books?
Until I wrote this book, I think it was a toss-up between Male, The Birds and the Bees, Adam McLean. Oh,
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
did as well as any other book, but this big Scottish hero, who in my brain I kind of had Billy Connolly in with Mrs. Brown with Judy Dench.
Yeah.
It was almost like that, this big brash Scottish guy. And out of all my heroes, I think he's my favourite. Women, I think it was Bond from Queen of Wishful Thinking.
Yeah.
Not a great deal of, wouldn't think she's a massive personality. She was just a lovely, sweet woman that you so wanted her to have a break.
Yeah.
Until this book. And then I wrote a character in this book called Charlie. He's one of the 6. He's a 79-year-old bloke. He doesn't do much because he can't do much. He's a bit frozen up, etc. But when I was writing, and I know this has come across because I've had letters saying, "Oh my God, I just want to give Charlie a hug," and I think that Charlie he's not got a lot of detail. He's just there. And as I was writing him, I had this image of a scented candle, and this old guy who's just like one of those lovely, expensive scented candles that his essence is everywhere, and light is everywhere. And I adore this whole bloke. He is every bit as real to me as someone I'd meet in the street. And for that reason, and it's a weird reason, because he's not a massive, full, brash, big character like Adam. It's just someone who's met someone who thought, my God, I just like to be around this person because he's so lovely. And it's Charlie. So it would be those 3, but I couldn't choose. At the moment, my heart is full of Charlie because of this book. And I would, if somebody had a gun to my head, gotta pick, I think I'd have to pick Charlie.
Yeah, I like the couple. I like both of them in that book, actually. I can really picture his other half fussing around him with the tablets and everything. Yeah.
They bicker all the time, and that's how they. But it never goes beyond disrespect.
No, not a bicker. No, it never goes too far.
Banter. That's how they talk. They're always nagging each other, and it's the oxygen of their relationship.
Yeah,
the love, the respect for each other, and they love each other very, very much. This couple, and he's just lovely. He's my scented candle character.
Yeah. Good description, definitely. So Millie, I think we will bring our lovely Christmas evening together to a close. And I'm going to finish, if you don't mind, with a couple of quotes I found from other authors. One of which you've mentioned this evening is Debbie Johnson. And she says, the feeling that you get when you read a Millie Johnson book should be bottled and made available on the NHS. And I couldn't agree more. And Lucy Diamond says, it's like spending time with a best friend. You always end up feeling better about the world. And that's very true. So what more can I say, really?
I have to say that I could have written those quotes about their books.
Right, that's lovely.
Debbie and Lucy they're good mates, and when I read their books, that's exactly how I feel.
Yeah.
So if you've never read either of those books, then those authors, then I read them for that reason.
Yeah.
Because they are proper tonics.
Yeah. So what more can I say, really? Go now and grab your copy of My One True North, or I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day, because they've got me through this year. They're available from Oldham Library's Borrow Box, in libraries and in bookshops and supermarkets. So end 2020 on a high, and grab your copy now. Millie, thank you. Sorry.
Just say, if you can get them in Tesco's, they're a £5. I shouldn't. No, there's not a lot of money around at the moment. If you can support your indies. If you strap for cash, head off to Tesco and pick one up for a £5.
Lovely, good advice. So thank you, Millie. It's been such a lovely evening, as always. Next time, I hope we can meet in the flesh.
Scones? No scones. It's like,
No.
it's like part of my wage. Having scones,
I know.
just give me the scones, and so I would love to do it in the flesh. You always treat me so lovely over there. I have lovely events, so that would be.
Yeah, and you're not too far away. And yeah, and if I could, I'd pop over for a curry and a panto for sure.
Very welcome.
Thank you. So yeah, you take care. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule and joining us this evening. And I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, whatever it brings this year.
Yes, and I'm sure we'll all make the best of it because we can't do anything else, can we?
I know. And thank you everybody for joining us. And
yes.
Yeah, take care. Thank you.
Take care now. Bye.
Bye. Bye.